Business owners and salespeople, have you ever experienced massive success followed by challenges and pitfalls and you can't seem to figure out the reason why? Well, the reason why this is because your subconscious mind is programmed to respond to pain more than it is to pleasure. Let me explain. So if you're struggling with inconsistency, it's because you're stuck in what I like to call the gray zone, okay? Now the gray zone is when things in our life aren't going really, really good, but they're also not really, really bad, and so we just kind of get stuck in this gray area. So let me explain. So for this example, we're gonna use money, but you can actually plug in any area of life, okay? Now let's take these three lines here, okay? The top line is what we call the pleasure line, and that's because humans were motivated to do things towards pleasure. The bottom line is the pain line, and that's because we're motivated to do things to avoid pain, and a middle line is the gray zone, okay? Now let's say you make an average of $10,000 a month, and you've always wanted to get to 20,000, again up here at the pleasure level, but for some reason you're not able to break through, okay? Now let's say 1 month, you have a bad month, you weren't as motivated, you weren't as focused, and you made half of what you normally made, and you're down here at the pain line. Well, suddenly, what happens to our discipline, our focus, our motivation? All of a sudden, we're waking up early, we're reading personal development books, we're doing everything we can until we get back up to our gray zone. And then we might stay here for a little while until we feel that pain again, and then boom, the motivation kicks in. And then this is a cycle that plays out over and over again. Now, the most successful people in the world, how our minds are programmed, is when we get up here to the gray zone, we might stay here for a little while, but rather than going backwards, we go here. And we might stay here for a little while, and then we go here. And the reason why this is because our mind is more programmed to respond to pleasure more than it is to pain. Now guys, if you've ever experienced this before and you want to break this cycle so that you can keep going to higher and higher levels of success, this upcoming Thursday, I'm doing a free live hypnosis session where I'm going to hypnotize you and program your subconscious mind to naturally have more and more success rather than the roller coaster cycle of business. Now, the hypnosis session you're going to experience, I typically charge my one-on-one clients $5,000 for just one session, and you're going to experience it for free. Now, spots are limited, and I'm not going to be offering it forever, so take advantage of it while you can. Now, the hypnosis session you're going to experience is the same exact session I've personally used on some of the top NFL athletes, UFC fighters, Olympic athletes, Navy SEALs, and some of the most successful business leaders and entrepreneurs from all over the world. Take a look.
What else Custom Model used to do with me, he used to take me to a hypnotist. I never felt like that before. It was like taking a big drug that would loosen you, boom, it felt like get him in.
He says, dude, back then, Durnick was a Daryl, dude, just drunk and smoking weed and shit. And and then it wasn't until you went to this Dr. Pratt, who was a hypnotist.
The first test he did on me was like, you don't believe you were meant, your subconscious doesn't believe you were meant to be successful. And then, lo and behold, we did a handful of sessions, and I've never taken a step backwards, never again in my life.
So guys, if you're ready to create massive transformation in every area of your life and you're tired of the roller coaster and you want to create consistent results and more success, click the link below and register for the free live hypnosis session now.